Hello, everybody. Oh, lower there. I'm fighting allergies, just so you know. We got to do all of our usual zooming in. Move this over here. This over here. Yippee-yi-yay! Something like that. How's everybody doing? We're going to be playing with Del Norte, please. Set this to be straight. Now, I got my air conditioner at the moment. I might turn it off in a minute. Let's see. Get that to be straight. There. Cool. Okay. So, got that going on. Got the video happening. I'm wiping my eyes. Wow. We already got lots of people watching from Holland, from Thailand, from North Carolina, from Germany, from Sweden. This is awesome. I love when you guys are saying hello. Toasty in Portland, it's cloudy. Cloudy and cool, which is good. We'll take cloudy and cool, right? Let's see here. Let me send out my greetings and the link to everybody. Go to the chat here and say, Andre's on the live stream page from Germany. Hi, Andre. Awesome customer. I'm chatting only on at YouTube. So join here. And then paste. And then I have to go to my Facebook page. All these places to tell people what's going on. So in 4 words or less, describe something cool that happened this week. Oh, 6 words. 6 words, in case you need more for, you know, I got a record deal. That's 5 words. All right, so that's like that, like that. Publish. Sun came out, Sweden summers. Got a new laptop, Tim, awesome. Finally took time out to learn Absinthe. That's a big week. Wow. Absinthe is a very deep synthesizer, and it will take you more than a week. Installed Northern Lights. Made some music. Awesome. Hey. The air conditioner turned off. Yay. I'm going to turn it off for a while. See if I don't need it. Let's see. Went to Wave seminar in Boise. Wow. They've had some crazy sales. I bought a number of plugins during this Waves. They had an 80% off everything sale, and I got the new panning, which is really cool effect. I got the real-time pitch because I'm going to try to sing, and I can't sing, so we'll see what happens there. That could be interesting. Birthday tomorrow. Fat Monkey. Happy birthday. You're a cusp Gemini Cancer, I guess, because evangelize to everyone about Plugin Guru. Thank you. Big E in the house. Well, I saw lots of concerts. Not lots, but I saw some good concerts. Are the OMG drum... I know, I have to do those. I will do those. Those are probably next up before cellos, believe it or not. After Del Norte, I'm going to hit OMG 2. It's a huge number of grooves to do, and so it's a lot of work. I will do it. I will do it. So today we have some fun things to explore. We're going to look at pads. You're going to come along. I'm going to make some pads from scratch for Del Norte together with you. We'll talk about what it takes to make pads, some things you might not have been thinking about that you need to think about when you're making pads. I also want to share some music and a band in particular that I saw this week that just, I've known about these guys for a few years. Eric Persing is a complete evangelist of this little duo. How do you do, Skippy? Hey, Black Sugar, what's up, man? It's a band called Knower. Let me give you a musical thing from one of their recordings. This is just insanity. These guys, this is like Scritti Politti meets progressive rock meets Brand X meets a Level 42, and then somebody put him on steroids. And the drummer, Lewis Cole, is also a keyboard player, and then, oh, what's her name? I never can say her name right. She's got one of these big, beautiful names. But listen, this is Knower. I want you guys to hear this. They have more talent in like 4 measures than most pop songs on the radio. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for playing this much, but so I'm gonna get later into this. Right here. Keep time. K-N-O-W-E-R. K-N-O-W-E-R. Knower. Like, hey, do you know her? And their stuff is just insane. So let's see here. I'm gonna do it. Let's see. This is later in the day. This is a couple days ago. I also have. I had a cool. So check this out. We'll put this over here. Just go down here. Open. Okay. Use 29.97. That's fine with me. So here, let me resize this. They played live here in Portland, and Lewis is on drums, and he's wearing like something from like a Batman movie for a little face thing. Let's see here. Let's mute their original track. This is them live. This is, I think it's Guinevere is her name. Had a keyboard player, bass player, and then sax player. Ready? He's just a monster on drums. It's butts, tits, and money. Here's the saxophone plate. Is it growing? So they're so cool. If you don't know Knower, this will mess you up. So I mean, he's the closest thing to a drum machine I think I've ever seen. There's other drummers that can do that kind of style, but just insanity, absolute insanity. And they were so fun to see live. They were so inspiring. Here, check this out. This is another one that they, let's see if I add this here. This shows the band's flexibility too. This is really cool. So they were playing at a really fast tempo, and they started to slow down and kind of like do a change up. And so, yeah, that's a Douglas Fir. Killer place to see music. Then he slows it down slower. And he's got 2 laptops playing Omnisphere. going for it, man. Watch Lewis. He's changed up the snare like nuts. Has airy, all his drums, it's like Stuart Copeland. He plays really flat. It's really cool. And the bass player's just so into it, man. They're just great. So the records are not like this because it's all sequenced and like heavy production and really cool. But they're touring as a band. Just insane. So it's a really cool mix. Now she's singing with a saxophone player. They're doubling the part. It's really hard to hold the camera still. Just so awesome to see, man. So that's Knower. If you don't know them, they are beyond talented. They are just... And what's really humbling is these guys are... They went and slept on the floors of a friend's house. They're traveling by like a van, and they can't afford to stay in a hotel. I've been asking drummers after their shows for their drumsticks, and Lewis goes, I don't have many pairs of drumsticks, so I can't give you a pair, otherwise I would. So that's true artistry at its like core. These guys, this is all they do. This is all they can do is music. They are so deep into the knowledge and the skill and everything. It's really inspiring. Just incredible, incredible stuff. Another show I saw this week that I wanted to share. Now, I'm not going to talk any politics, so please don't start talking. But I saw someone who's very political in their take on things and not afraid to say it, but still it was an incredible show for a couple really cool reasons. Let's see here. So don't talk politics. I'm not going to say anything about politics. We don't have time for all that kind of stuff. But I saw Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. And what you have to check out, I've never seen a stage like this ever in my life. So this stage, they have huge screen, high resolution screen behind them, but this came down for the start of the second half. And just watch. So it's anti-Trump, just so you know what he's going to be talking about, the video footage he's going to show. But just ignore the message. I know it's bad. Size of this. The lighting goes all the way across an entire basketball court. I've never seen anything like it, and it's playing multiple. So it was insane. That's kind of an anti-song. Let me play another one that he did. He did all the big songs, the hits and all that stuff. It was really a killer show as far as just all that stuff goes. So here's, oh wait, not that one. Let's go to, is it this one? No, it's not that one. Oh, this is the raising of those stuff. Anyway, it was a really cool show. I wanted to, let's see, is it maybe this one? No, I showed that one. Never mind that one. Where's, I think it was this one. So, yeah, this is cool. So here's with the laser show, trying to do the dark side of the moon, all that good stuff. So let's see, let's go like that and resize it. Anyway, it was at the Moda Center. It was a packed, huge. The whole laser light show. He's 71 years old and is still just rocking it. So it was really inspiring to see the show. It was great. Really enjoyed it. So that was part of my week. I wanted to share it with you guys. Wow, we hit 70. I've never been at 70 before for a live stream, so this is pretty cool on just YouTube alone. Laser light beams. Yeah. Comfortably Numb. He did Wishing You Were Here. I mean, it was a really inspiring show. I've grown up. I was in high school when Dark Side of the Moon came out. Or not Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall came out. And I remember I was in band. And we would sit at lunchtime and we would play the record. That and Back in Black came out when I was in high school. All sorts of these amazing albums. Hello, Ivar. Michelle Jean Jarre has some amazing stage visuals. Yes, Machine Jar's shows are incredible, inspiring. Let's see. So what else has been happening? I wanted to share a little of life. My daughter is on a really cool trip, and I'm watching her pet rats. So I'll share. This is their breakfast. On the right, that's Pebble, and on the left is, no, that's Olive, because he's got the black and stuff, and on the left is Pebble. I always get him backwards. That's them in their piss box my daughter made. I'm watching the cat, who loves the dog, so they make out, and it's disgusting to watch them. They kiss each other, and they love each other. Let's see, what else is here? So there's the beginning of the concert, and lots of visuals from it. But look at the size of the stage. I did a panorama of it. It's just, I've never seen a show quite like that. So that was really cool. Lots of anti-Trump, especially one song in particular was like really into that stuff. They had flying bulbs and they had all sorts of flying pig and all that stuff. The laser beam, hands. This was a kind of a trivia test I put up to you guys on Facebook. What is this? And a lot of you guessed it. That is the music stand that came with the Yamaha DX7 and the DX9. And I believe the PFP 100? No, just the DX7, DX9. And I think it maybe KX88. Yamaha used this on all their keyboards back when the DX7 came out. That's my daughter now. She's in the Tetons. That's where they're at. That's by their campsite. I'm very jealous. So the Noor band. So it's been a fun week as far as that stuff goes. Let's see. How do I go in here and say movie? Remove the movie. There. So it's been an interesting week on that front. I have been having a lot of fun with Del Norte. So we're going to play with that. One thing that's very cool is this. I will show more of this in a bit. This is the work in progress early work for the Kontatk 5 version of Del Norte. And we're doing some cool things that I've never done before, and some things I don't know if I've seen in other Kontatk instruments. The idea being that you have all the attacks as one oscillator, and you have all of the 35 core sounds that make up Del Norte from my Virus TI that I recorded when in the Redwoods in Northern California as another sounds. So you can layer them to make really... So we'll look at this more, but it's going to be really cool. So this is like so far early that we haven't moved things into the right proper place. I'll explain all the sliders, which will become knobs. And there's some serious upgrades we've done to this compared to the bells and winds. These are probably updates that I'll want to do to the other stuff too. But it's really, really exciting. So we're going to look at that. Let's see. I can get rid of that. We're not going to play any more Noah. Get rid of the extra voiceover and audio stuff. And we can play with Del Norte. And one thing that's happened this week is I'm exploring more with keyscape. And so we'll look at, I got a couple tips for keyscape because the pianos in particular have never been my cup of tea just because of the way they play with release, but you can adjust that really easily, and I'll show you how to do that. But first, let me show you some of the patches. So the library is becoming rather healthy. All of the hits, I have to have patches for every hit so that you have all of them available to choose from in the future. So there's like 115 different hits because there's dry, there's EQs, there's verb. I put a Z at the end of the names so that they show up at the end of the list here, but they show up at the beginning of the list because I put a space at the beginning of the names in the sample list, which I'm told on PCs is not maybe a good thing to do, but maybe it's okay for the Omnisphere side of things because it builds its own file with everything encapsulated. So we've got a whole lot of cool stuff going on. Here's Who's Pissed Off Bigfoot. You've got the mod wheel to do a really cool, it goes up in the ring mod to a 5th. So that's fun. There's Juicy Fruity. Under Suspicion. And again, without the attack. So the attacks. And then to be able to go to this list of attacks. You don't realize how important the attack is to a sound. Until you have a whole bunch to play with. And you can just switch it out, and all of a sudden, each one of these sounds is actually 115 sounds because you can just go through the list of sampled attacks. And if you want, put a breathy attack on it. So there's all these, let's see if we go just to Del Norte. You have a, and for this you tune it up. So there's all sorts of stuff to go there. We've got all sorts of really cool BPM stuff. Some of these I showed last week from Airwave. There's a Tim Dale patch. if you make an arpeggiator sound like the way a horse is running over a field, that kind of arpeggiator action would be interesting. Like, brum, 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 brum. Yeah, that is interesting. So this is kind of fun because up here you have seagulls. Then the mod wheel. So I'll do some more of these because chill is all about. We'll cover keys in a minute. I want to talk about that separately. Yeah, Tim's patches are all messed up. I have to fix them. I thought I fixed these, but I didn't fix them. This is where we're going to look in pads in a minute. Ice Baby. I can get kind of into that D50 family. Really cool. Airwave did Lush and Lusher, which is cool. So there's a handful of pads. Pads is a big focus part for this week. I plucked really hard. Gotta have ice cream. So this comes out Friday. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. All that kind of stuff. Nice, Tim. All right, so that stuff. There's some. These are really cool when you put something like Kickstart on them. You get some pulsing stuff happening. I think these are tempo synced to the envelopes. So if you go to the filter, yeah, it's synced so that it will do this drop in a major. So as your groove is going, if you slow it down, it will slow down this envelope because sync is on, which is kind of cool. Here's another D50S. So those are cool. Now, Steve Taglioni is a customer of mine. I've never met him in person, but we talk a lot on Facebook. He uses my sounds on like virtually every major movie, the Steven Spielberg movies, all the Finding Dory movies, Bridge of Spies. All these films have my sounds in them from my libraries because of Taglioni. He's a prolific woodwind player. He did the woodwind samples that are the bonus samples inside of Bells and Winds that are incredible. So he's making, I sent him the library, I said, play with it, let me know what you think. And he's like, I can't stop making patches. And so he's been sending me stuff he's been making, and it's crazy stuff. He's film oriented, so that means the mod wheel. So I'm gonna include not all of these, but I'm gonna include some of these that are really cool. It's a whole different perspective on sounds and patches because he's thinking for film, this is incredible, you know? So a lot of these, like those, will for sure be in. So I have to go through these and prison cafeteria jam. There's 2 of them. So I'll go through these. There's some really cool ideas in here. It's a different take on Del Norte. I see redwoods in a different way when I play these sounds. So Tavon is just, it's a blessing to have him as a friend, and for him to want to work with my sounds, and for him to want to send them to me and say, use them. I don't care what you do with them. I mean, that's pretty cool. So those will be included in the library. Guardians of the Mini Market. Yeah, that's an airwave patch for percussa. Very cool. Keys. There's going to be a handful of patches for the first time in this library that will have a KYSC at the end of the name, which means you have to have keyscape for it to load without an error message. And I've had a number of people have sent me for on my email that I sent out. I had a link for asking questions, and quite a few said, "I don't have keyscape. What's my solution for that?" So let me first show you these sounds, because it'll probably make you want to own keyscape. And if you don't, all you have to do is just call up another piano from any other source of your favorite pianos, electric or piano. The sound, the concept behind these, it's a piano or something from keyscape and then something from Del Norte as a layer. So the things, if you call up something like, let's do one of the standard ones, Everybody Wins. This is a... You know, it's a nice piano. But if you don't have piano and you get an error message, it's going to come up and it's going to sound like this. So just go to another track, copy the track, and put a piano on it. Some of these other pianos, I do some unique things. Now, I'm going to just talk just for a brief moment about the keyscape library and pianos compared to what I'm doing. I've never been a big fan, and I haven't done reviews of this, but the keyscape pianos, they're really nice pianos, but I never liked the way they play. I don't like the immediate off. You can tweak that. With the tweak knob, you can bring up the time transition, and that fixes a lot of it. And on main, go to the velocity sensitivity, bring it up. That's more kind of like what I like. I like actually more release than that. So I'm using these sounds, these sample sources, in a very different way than the library. All of these kind of have the same kind of... It's just not my cup of tea as far as the way they play. So I'm using that sound source material, but in very different ways. The way that I am making the pianos play is more of if I kill the layer sound, and I don't push them so hard. They have a lot of compression and stuff on the patches. They want to be really upfront and present, and I'm kind of going for a different vibe. Okay, so that's my take. There's a number of different... So I'm going for a different vibe altogether than what the Keyscape library provides. The Infinity pianos are just insane. And at first the Infinity was hiding on the mod wheel. And I was like, you know, it says Infinity. So these pianos, they're infinity, close to infinity. When you hold on sustain pedal, you're gonna get this cool growing stuff happening. And this is layering both the grand piano at the softest and the dream piano from Omnisphere together. Okay. If you bring up the mod wheel, the reverb and everything goes down to being more normal-esque. It's still in the dreamy, but it's not the There's also Infinity I did to the Rhodes. I might do a couple more of these because it's kind of cool. And this is using a Del Norte layer, so when you play it with sustain, get this cool motion. Okay, there's Innocence, which is kind of, I'm gonna give it a second because it needs to load a lot of samples to properly show itself going off. Very different vibe, very mellow. But if you're doing chill, you need stuff like that. Losing Hope is using the shifting to the piano to give it a different vibe altogether. And if you turn off the piano, you still have a really interesting layer. Right? So this is considered pad, but notice that because I'm putting this behind a piano, I made the attacks a little bit faster. So that's part of the start of our talk on pads. The first thing you have to decide when programming a pad sound is how are you going to use it. In this case, I knew I was going to be playing piano. I'm going to be changing chords often, probably. You'll be doing stuff like that with the piano, right? So you don't want it to be this slow, like just slowly evolving pad in this type of a situation, right? So that's something to start thinking about. Here's the last keyscape for the moment. So I thought it was appropriate for this library to have some patches like this because piano is so important for the chill type of songs. I mean, there's bands where the entire, every song has an electric piano thing on it. So, and I haven't explored a whole lot of the other sounds for patches. I will, some. I will do a full library for Keyscape that's just Keyscape later this year. Or next. But it's nice to have pianos like this built into Omnisphere. Now, if you don't own these pianos and you just own the core library, right? If you go up here and you say piano, let's make the user audio box go away. You have a whole lot of things that fall into the piano category to go through. And some of these are really nice. Of course, obviously, if you go, this is in case you don't have Keyscape and you call up these patches. It's like, oh, well, I wish I had a piano. Call up the Dream Piano, and the levels are quite different, so you want to... That works, sorta. It's more the dreamy take. Cedar is kind of like an electric piano. What I would do with Cedar is that attack is kind of strong. Go to the sample start and hold down shift, and you can move it to like 6.006. And that gets rid of the click. Hear that? So if you like 0.0056, and if you're gonna get really tricky, here's a really super secret trick. Randomize it, but bring the randomizer down and hold down shift and let it only do like 0.005. So now you just get within that range of 0 to 5. Or have it be even 4 or 3. But it's going to randomize it a little bit so you get kind of that round robin each. It doesn't sound like I'm playing the same sample. Okay. So Cedar is another possibility to play with. There's a whole lot of other ones down the list. If you go through these, some of the kalimba things and stuff that are down here. Electric piano. There's that works as a piano. So there are options inside of Omnisphere. That's piano. Goes to the piano. There are things like that to play with if you want to work with that you don't have keyscape. So it's easy to call up the sample list, type in piano in the sound sources browser, and find alternatives, okay? So you're not just totally stuck. There will also be some that are programmed that don't require anything except Del Norte. And I'm going to make a couple more that the electric piano and some other ones. I have another week to program, so that's why I gave myself some time, because these samples, there's so much to do with these samples. It's really awesomely exciting to have some time to explore. I didn't want to push myself on this one and try to get something out really fast. So that's where we are. We've got a ton of patches. There's more patches coming. Casey Baldwin, Exosun's doing some really cool dancey, trancy kind of things that will be put into the library. Let's see. What are we having? Thanks for the focus on piano. My heart gets happy since I am a piano player. Yes. Can you get full tines from the DX7 too? Full tines is an FM sound, and I'll look around. I think there is some FM pianos inside of the sound sources for both keyscape. I know there's some Roland ones for sure, so we can look at that. There's also the possibility, what you can do that's really fun is just you have a pad, right? So find a pad that plays. And maybe bring the brightness down, and then go to multi, go to MIDI channel 1 for the second part, and then go to the keyscape library, and you can go through this and play all of the different here's Lush. Let's do warm Lush. And I hear an octave difference between the two, so I'd go to part 1, my pad, go to the main page and shift it up an octave, and then turn it down, so go to the multi. So yeah, you can do it that way. You could go through the whole keyscape library as a second layer, just set it to MIDI channel 1 on the multi page right here instead of 2, or you could hit stack which makes it ignore MIDI channels altogether, and you layer up to 4 if you want. There's all sorts of optional ways to get things going. All right. Pads. Oh, let me show you while we're kind of showing sounds and stuff. Let me show you real quickly just to get you guys all hot and bothered. This is pretty awesome. This is the Kontatk 5 version. And then we'll do the pad tutorial. So this, I'm still playing, and I got this just a couple days ago. So we have a lot going on. I'm going to do this. Open up shared to the work in progress right here because I made a couple patches. So following comments, if you're familiar with the Roland D50, you'll hear a very similar So I'm going to program this after the Omnisphere library is out because we still have to get everything in place, get the new knob designs that we want to do to make it look a little different. And then Matt Chowsky, my graphic artist guy that I'm having work with on the interface, needs to do the skin. So we have a long ways to go, which is good. It will give us time. Some of the things that we've done under the hood that are really, really exciting. The tone verb and ambiverb are now in a different configuration in the chain so that when you bring this all the way up, it's 100% reverb. And by doing that, it makes the reverbs really have a lushness that the other way so that's really exciting. We have some new things happening on Glitch that are mind-blowing. We found that the samples start, so if you look up here at the list, so like I've said, this is the attack. So you can go down the list. And then here's your body. So if I wanted to, and we get to some of the bigger ones like the complex. Okay. Some of the cool things we have here that I haven't seen a lot, we have filter bypass. So I can have everything going through the filter. Let's have us go through something like turn off lo-fi. Okay. If I hit bypass filter, I can go. I can have the body see how it's going like this? If I hit bypass, this becomes its own thing. So you can, it can stick out. And this is something I haven't seen anybody do yet. This is key tracking. So if I set this at 0, the sample doesn't track keyboard. Whereas as I bring this up, it's a different amount of pitch key tracking. Hear how the attack, here it's all the same. So I can transpose. Now it's the same pitch. So that's very cool. So these are the knobs you can bypass. Okay. So that's all super cool. Now, if I make this glitch, oh my God. So if this is short, this is going to be called bounce now. Which does this. So glitch is a MIDI note repeat. So this is the number of repeats. The tune. And then bounce. This is so cool. It does ping ponging. And then this is like a hold. So it will hold. It's insane. So one note can do some really cool things just with the glitch. And then you have lo-fi. You've got distortion. The EQ is... is insane. The transient designer is really cool. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on under the hood that's new. The filter, you can now select any of the filters from a pop-up list, which you couldn't do before. So it's going to be insane. I mean, some of these other patches, reflecting pools, this is really cool for the... you turn on glitch and... So this is in the works after Del Norte is done for Omnisphere. So really exciting. It's fun to kind of give Aaron these ideas. Like, I want to do this. I want to have it do that. And he's like, I don't know if I can do that. Says, okay, I figured out how to do that. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Love working with people that are able to do that with me. So that's what we are doing for the Kontatk 5 version. It's got a ways to go. If you own the Omnisphere version, there'll be, of course, a cross grade to get both price. Will you update the Omniverse? Greg, what do you mean? Let me see. Greg is asking if you will update the Omnisphere version of this. What do you mean by that? If I update the Omnisphere version of what? I'm going to get my lava lamp out. Yeah, this is lava lamp blackout. Hey, it's chill, man. Chill wave, all that stuff going on. So, okay, pads. Let's initialize patch. Actually, let's just initialize multi to make sure everybody's clean. And I'm on part 1. Am I talking MIDI channel 1? No, I'm not. So a couple things here. Mega Magic Bells and Winds, right? For I don't know if we will update the Mega Magic Bells and Winds or not. We'll see.
because they work really good as they are with the patches, and I don't want to break the patches that I've done for that library by changing the engine. And I'm sorry, but it's kind of like we learn and we advance things, but that doesn't mean we can go back and, like, you know, it's not all the same plugin. They're different libraries, and we spend a lot of time and I spend a lot of money with other people making patches that I don't want to break, and they'll break if I change parameters and meta stuff with pre-existing libraries. Now that I think about it, it will break them. So sorry. Can we do the gurgling metal effect in Omnisphere 2? Gurgling metal. Gurgling metal. I need to hear a recording of gurgling metal to know what you want, but I'm sure with the ARP and with the different sounds, sure, we can do gurgling metal. Okay, so pads. The basic effect, the shape of a pad. Typically, your pad, when you start talking pads, means it's got a slow attack. For me, it usually means that it has a slight bit of decay, sometimes more, to a resting point, and then it has a long release. That differentiates anything in my library that says pad is going to have a slower attack from a synth. Because you play and you use them in different ways. And so throughout my whole library, if you see something that says synth in the name, that's a fast attack. That means you play it, it's going to be snappy to a certain extent. Maybe not totally snappy, might be a little soft, you know, brassy type of thing. But pad means that this attack time has been... Now, like I talked about when we were looking at the keyboards, the actual shape of the pad depends on how you're going to use it. So you have to kind of, a lot of times, a good way to do this is in your song. Play your song, play your part. A lot of times I hear songs where people are using a patch and the pad envelope is too slow. And so it ends up being like, let's see, if we go over here and we have, let's go to Del Norte for all, because I'm just looking at that. And let's turn off piano because I'm not looking just for pianos. Let's use something like, let's do one that's got a simple and a complex. When you're looking through the Del Norte library, a lot of the sounds have a complex, which to me means there's more than one octave involved, versus simple, which is... And you hear right away, one of the first things, one of the biggest rules of pads, you need more notes of polyphony. Because you've made the releases longer, those notes are going to linger. Omnisphere's default is 8 voices, and it will go all the way up to 64. At least 32 voices is the bare minimum, and if you have a longer release and you want to just do simple things, then you need to look at the number of notes of polyphony and maybe change it. And here's where you would change that to be whatever you want, say 48. If you're going to use harmonia or unison, you're doubling or tripling or quadrupling if you go to harmonia and turn on all 4. This means it's now playing 4 notes for each note that you play when you turn it on. If it's off, it's only 1. But if it's on, it's playing 4 notes. So that means 1 note is 4. 6 notes is 24 notes of polyphony. And then you play a new chord, and it's going to immediately need a whole nother pool of 24 notes, while the other 24 are lingering. So there's 48 right there. And then if you play a third chord, now it's going to be asking for more. That's why you need to do some math and think about how you're going to use this. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make a drum groove really quick, because you can't really get into fine-tuning a pad unless you have the groove of the song you're going to be working with. So let's make all this go away, and I can just right-click to call up my quick load and go to Super Macho. I've been really having fun with Metrolog lately, or the hyper liquid. Because I don't want it to be like recognizable drum sound. And let's say like maybe 90 beats per minute. Okay, so I just have a little chill vibe going. Okay, so I could go if I wanted to. This is why I have so many samples across the keyboard, is because up here, like this sound. Let's have that. That would be in the key of my song. And I want to have reverb on it. And let's see. Tune it. Okay. So let's have, let's see what else can. Maybe I want to pan these. Because something going on the left and right. And I want these to be cool through the tone verb. And I'm going to put it to something like maybe one of the band hits. Let's see, do I have any in C? Yeah, I do. Good. Let's see if that works. So. Okay, so I just want to have some kind of interesting stuff going on from my groove track that I can play with. So, and if I wanted to get really tricky with this, I could go to the groove and I could say, instead of this, let's use like a groove template. Like 16th swing A, just gonna swing it a little bit. Go to the quantized strength. Make it more imperfect, like maybe 75% quantized. As you can see, I can tell already. Let's do this. Let's go. Okay, and I recorded that even though you don't know I recorded it, because I'm going to go over here, and if I open up my interface a little more right here, my capture. So starting right there at 3, quantize to 3. Oh wait, it thinks it's on the beats, so let me fix that. Get rid of this because I don't need to view any hyper stuff right now. And go like this, then go to 3, and I can hit, is it Command T to trim? Oh wait. Okay, yeah, so it is right. So okay, so it was the full formation. And I played these too soon, so I'm going to move them where they're supposed to be. And these are played wrong. So if I look at my pad sound now, let's do this. Turn this down a little bit. So there's a couple things here going on. I kind of have my releases, either I need to make them longer in the pad. This is where it starts to being like, okay, now I need to customize this pad sound to match what I played. So I bring up the release. Or does it make everything else muddy? I love all the conversations you guys have in the chat at the same time. It's like you guys are talking about Predator 2 on the want list and then Plug have a clearance sale. It's kind of a fun little community hangout now on Saturdays. It's pretty fun. So I'm going to do some things to this. Let's keep going. So in this case, I'm going to take these guys and have the releases be a little longer. Just grab the tails. Okay. So this sound kind of plays. But we need to like give us some interesting things. What can we do to make it, now that we have the basics of it, a couple of things that are fun you might not have thought about is you can go over here, say new modulation routing. Let's have velocity play with it. This is something I do all the time with Korg because it's so easy with their envelopes, but go to the amp envelope attack trim. And now by velocity, you can make it shorter. Actually, it's the other way around, right? So if we have this longer, right? Yeah. So we want to be the other way. We want to be like this. As I play faster, so the key here is to give your actual attack a lot of place to work with, because now I have velocity full scale. So when I play faster, harder, when I play a faster, harder velocity, it's now playing close to the attack. If I play soft, so this way the pad actually now is adapting to how you play. So if I play soft and slow, if I play a little bit harder notes, and you could do the same thing for velocity to the decay or the release as well, but the attack is really nice in this case. Okay, so currently we're kind of boring because we just have this really nice sample, but there's not much else happening to it. So at this point in the song, I'd want to go to the filter and maybe to bring up that little bit more emphasis on that motion. And then go to the filter envelope and let's make this longer. So hit lock so that my release stays the same. Maybe you want something like that. It's got a little growth. Let's go to a different filter type. So go to the filters. That's kind of cool. Now I'm thinking ahead of time because I'm going to add effects. So by doing things that have some harmonic interest now that are going to be changing, when those hit the effects, it's going to be growing. Let's add some ring modulation as well. Let's see if we can. Maybe having it do something like that would be cool. If we wanted to like really get drastic, so we could say modulate this with envelope 4. And envelope 4 is doing a rhythm thing right now. So let's go over here to the presets. Say default ADSR. Then we have to invert it. So we go invert. And this needs to go back to the top because this is now 0 instead of the top. So and let's zoom out because oh, it's looping. That's what it's doing. I don't want any looping. And then just have it stay sustaining out like this. That's kind of cool. Now, to kind of make that less drastic, I don't want it quite so drastic, right? So the depth, let's have that also be controlled by the same things. Let's go all sources, mod envelope 4, invert it. So this way it starts with no mix. Let's see how that sounds with the track. Maybe I don't want it to start quite so down. Kind of cool. And now I have two choices. I kind of want to have a rhythmic pulsing element to this because that's always fun. And I want to do that with a separate layer. So we could go to layer B, or I could add the effects now. I typically try to add effects at the very end. So let's not do that. So let's go to B, turn off A for a minute, and let's go looking through Del Norte samples. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. I'm on A. So, by the way, there's an undo inside of Omnisphere now. Did you know that? I changed this. I didn't want to do that. So I can say undo layer on and off. Undo layer off. I think it will. Oh no, it's not going to. It didn't remember this. Shoot. Well, it's just right here. But this undo has saved me a lot of times. The undo redo, you can undo your edits. So if you've gone through and done a whole lot of edits, if I had, let's see, let's turn this off. And let's say that I'd set this to be Del Norte, something here, just really quickly. Let's say I turned on the FM ring wave sequence and unison. If I go undo, I can undo and it will go through and it will turn off the things that I had done. So there's multiple undos inside of Omnisphere now, which is really handy if you're editing and you go down some road and then it becomes not the right road and you want to get back. As long as you're not changing the multi-sound. It doesn't seem to remember the multi-sound. But multiple undo is inside Omnisphere and it works, and it has saved me from tragedies in some cases. Let's see here. Now I want to sound with good harmonic content. Maybe even something like this. This is going to be pulsing. And I'm just going to do a simple LFO pulse. Modulate with an LFO. Here's the steps. Sync. Let's have it do by legato, which means as long as I'm playing a new note, it will re-trigger it. And if I'm holding a note down and I play another one, it doesn't re-trigger it, so it keeps it going with the pulse. And I'm going to do the forward pulse. And we've got sync turned on, so we can set this to, like, say, eighth notes. Let's see how that works. Cool. Maybe I want filtering. I want to emphasize. Now, because I'm doing the pulsing for the volume, I need to do that for the filter as well. So you could just go down here to mod sources and say 4. And what's cool with that is, while it's doing it there, I can also have the a sweep. So I want something like this happening in that pad. So my pad has made a rather drastic turn. And now if I go to the effects, I like to start with my defaults because I have all sorts of things that I've saved as. And I don't want quite so much of this ring mod effect. So I'm going to bring down the... That'd be fun to play with. Hear how it brings in the higher harmonics? I just want a pad that has more character than just a sitting pad for this one. So let's do this. Let's modulate this with an LFO. I'm going to choose to be a random shape, synced. I need just a little sync so I can hear it. Now I'm going to totally squash this by using under dynamics the tape slammer, bring up the age. This is how you get rid of that digital quality. If you have a digital vibe that you want to get rid of, use the tape slammer because it has both saturation and age, which are great at just kind of like compressing the digitalness of it. And I'm going to also put another, I want more motion, so I'm going to put a chorus echo. Let's put this on channel 2 for the second sound. I'm going to call up just the bass real quick. Because you got to see how things work, right? So let's go Del Norte. I need something like a shorter normal bass. I like that. So we got kind of a vibe going on here. Add the drums. Now, it is 2017, and everything has side compression on it. So the last thing I'm going to add to this... Oh, people are saying bye to each other. Bye, Harley. So we're going to go to the pad. Final trick is to go to the common utility imager, and then I'm going to assign... Let's see, I have that pitch EG thing happening. I kind of need to do this. Watch this. This will be tricky. So we're going to take part mod envelope. Oh, I'm not using mod envelope. I use mod envelope. Oh, good. I did the good thing. I saved mod envelope 4. Mod envelope 4 can be polyphonic. And I'm going to need that so that the chords and the notes and stuff I play, although the imager is monophonic, so it doesn't matter, I guess. But I'm going to modulate this with mod envelope 4. Oh, I'm on the bass. Oops. Excuse me. Unmodulate. Take that off. I need to go back to here. And here I did use, I think, mod envelope 4. Yes. So if I wanted this, I could say copy this, go to 3 and paste. Make sure you always turn off the loop because they're default to be turned on. Now I need to go to my effect page, like here, my modulation assign page, and we can look for mod envelope 4 and change those to be mod envelope 3, and it should be the same. Okay, so everybody's using mod envelope 3. It was using mod envelope 4, but I copied 4 to 3 and reassigned to 3, so that way I can go to the effects, go to utility, add an imager. Now it's gone. Oh wait, I don't want to do it there on layer A. I want to do it to the global, the common page right here. I find the imager just has the smoothest, less noisy of this stuff. So if we go odd mods, go to all mod sources, mod envelope 4. Now, Del Norte is coming with these envelopes. So you can go over here, loop, sync, song. Because I want it to, it's going to be like an LFO just running. Go to the Del Norte pulses and... And if I want, I can try other shapes. Cool. So you have control over how this works. The S shape is the nicest. If you can get an S shape that seems to be nice and smooth over this. And you'll notice I don't have, if I go to the effects, I don't have the gain all the way at 0. I could have it at 0. But I wanted to have a little sustain, so you can bring up the gain. Okay. So, what should we call this? Everybody tell me names. Got a lot going on. I Island Beat. It was more Island Beat with here, I like this shape. I'm gonna save this as a default. So if you want to save presets, you go save oh wait. Oh shoot. Undo. Yay! Undo. Saved me. Save envelope preset. Envelope pulses. Let's call this number 11. Tiki Dream. Island Pulse. Island Pulse is kind of cool. But I that was with like, I think, was it 2 or 3? Yeah, 3. That's Island Pulse. Let's do that. Halftime. Okay. Good idea. Island Pulse. Save patch as. We're going to go down here to the Del Norte. Oh, we got to do it this way. So normally it wants to always save to user. If you make a folder, you can set it up so that it recognizes it and sees it. We'll go art BPM. BPM pad. And Pulse. YouTube fam. Island Pulse, because I did it with my family. You guys are my family. There's 82 people watching on YouTube. That is so awesome. That's awesome. I haven't had 82 people before. So, yeah. So let's save that. It goes through. You have to have all these things. We're going to just say BPM, pad, pulsing, mood, childlike, dreamlike, innocent, not intense. You could be at a party. Sure. It's not robotic. Upbeat. It's useful in all sorts of different styles of music. Film, electronic, dubstep, I don't think so, but you can use it in that if you want. Pop, chill out, and EDM. I have to say those since it's an EDM chill library. Complexity is how much of the mix it takes up. This is fairly big, so I'm going to say 2, but it's not complex. And the author is yours truly. This goes to Plugin Guru, Del Norte, chill, EDM, chill. The web link, you could put your own web link if you want. And notes. If you don't need the notes, we do notes like crazy to every patch we've made. So all the libraries have insane note comments. Fun pulsing ring patch created during the July 1st, 2017 live stream on YouTube. The family was hanging out while this was created. What should the mod wheel do? We haven't even... We'll have to play with that. So mod wheel, I think it will probably, since it's kind of, we'll make it brighter and removes the pulse for epic transitions. Okay, so that's all the steps to save a patch. You have to fill in these things before you save patches in Omnisphere. So I'm going to make the pulse go away. How do I do that? There's a couple ways to do it. Let's do this. Let's modulate with the wheel so that the depth is inverted, so it goes down. That gets rid of the actual pulse, but it doesn't bring the volume up. So that means at the same time we need to go to here and modulate this with the wheel to bring it back to kind of the middle. So now so there's just your normal pulse with the mod wheel up and down. And I wanted to brighten too, right? So we go over here, because you can always, a quick test to see what you have to work with filter wise, turn on and off the filter. You can, there's not so much on B, but there is on A. So go here and say modulate this with the wheel. So this way you have a nice, now I might want to have the whole pulsing go away altogether, right? This thing that's going on, this is show modulation. LFO1 is doing this. So all I have to do is the depth of any LFO is also modulatable. So let's say wheel invert. So now with the mod wheel up, and there's a little animation, because remember the wave, the ring modulator, ring symmetry is being modulated by its own LFO. And I could make it go away. I kind of like it. And then you bring down the mod wheel. One. And now you got your verses or something like that, you know. So this is a very flexible patch. Hey Floyd, welcome to the hang. Now, since I've already saved the patch, anytime that you do edits to a patch, not the factory patches, but your own patches or a plugin guru patch or another third-party patch that you've bought, you can go to utility and just say save patch quick. It says, do you want to overwrite? And you say yes. That way I don't have to go through the tagging procedures or anything like that. It just immediately saves it. Cool. So we did a pad. We looked at the library as it is going to be. It's cool. There's a whole other side of this library I haven't really shown because I'm still building it, and that's the multis. There will be a whole bunch of multis, all 35 of the core patches that are in the Del Norte. There's a core library where I'm going through and I'm taking, you notice when we're looking at the patches, this says C2. And if you look at the list, there's C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as well as Gs. I recorded CG up the keyboard to make the virus sampled instrument that I wanted to capture fairly accurately. I could have gone even to like thirds or something, but when you get to Omnisphere, I cannot use all of those samples, and I don't need to in some cases. Some of these I have it so that it's loading up more, right? Just depends on which one it is. But I'm going to have all 35 of the library shown using, there will both be these types of things. The things that say DN at the end are Del Norte. So these will be, and in the case when it says DN at the end of the name, there will maybe be like an attack, but it's muted. So anything that says DN is going to be the Del Norte core library with multiple samples. Because again, program mode, I can only play one sample at a time. I can't map a whole bunch of samples across the keyboard. Here I'm mapping 5 across the keyboard. So if we were to take Nasika Wet as just a patch, I'll show you the difference. So let's initialize the multi. If I was here, and let me see, did I? Some of these started over here. No. So if I was to go over here to the samples and call up Nasika, which is down here. Let me make it more of a pad shape. Slower attack. Give me more polyphony. Those are the 2 main things you got to do. Make sure you give yourself like 36 notes of polyphony. Okay. So this is Nasika, just a single sample. So one sample. And the way it works, C1 was recorded way down low. So as you go up the keyboard, it's playing it really fast up here. As you go up in octave ranges, that cycle that you're hearing is going to slow down. Hear it slowing down until you get to the range, like C5 is close to up here. And if you go to C6, this is the top way up high, and these sometimes sound really broken. In a really cool way, that's why they're here. So when you go all these different samples, all these different things, some of these that have really cool motion and stuff. When you play C1, that's the original sample, but up high, it's super speeded up and gnarly, right? But if you play C5, this is where it's supposed to be for the top of the keyboard. But when those sounds are played down the keyboard, it gets really interesting. You can get some really cool stuff out of it. So I'm so waiting for Omnisphere 3. Yeah, Omnisphere 3 won't be happening for a while. They've got something rhythmic to do, don't they? At least. I would think, I would hope. So that's why you see all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not all of these will be in the final library for Omnisphere, because I don't need all of these to make the multis and for the patches to be made. When I go over and I spit out the library, it looks at all the patches and it looks at all the multis and it spits out the samples from my pool of everything, all of this stuff. Now the Kontatk 5 version is different in that the Kontatk 5 version will have all of the samples for everyone mapped across the keyboard. When you go over here, and we're playing drums right now, but if I was to call it up, it's mapped out to where you see all of the samples across the keyboard being used for all of them. So that's one of the big differences between the Omnisphere and the Kontatk 5 version is Omnisphere, it's a maximum of 8 samples for one multi. So a lot of these have between 10 and 12 samples. So there's no way to, oh, here's one that has 9. So that's, you can't do that even. So a lot of these have more than that because they go up to C6. So if that's the case, I can't make all those mapped across the keyboard, and I don't really need to do that anyhow. Plus, it's the pain in the butt process where every patch is just a part of the keyboard. So basically, I make the patch for one area of the keyboard, then I have to copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and it's a lot of work. So it's a very different creature for dealing with samples than Kontatk, which has no problem dealing with samples. All right. So there you go. We've had a good time. 1 hour and 42 minutes. That's great. I lost track of time in there. Lot covered. That's a lot I played with. Any questions before we go? I just wanted to point out, next week, live stream will be on Sunday. There's a really cool event that happens on Saturday that I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Oh, I was going to show you something, but it's not going to happen. Let's see if we do this. Slash. So in the summertime, on one day, this really cool event happens where a full moon is setting at sunrise. And because of that event, it also makes it so that it's a low tide just by the way our planet works. And you can look at the calendar and you can see each year what day that is. And next Saturday is that day. And I've been able to capture that morning a number of times before in the past. I was going to share a picture with you if I can ever get... Flickr's not letting me log in because it doesn't remember my password or something. But let me show you. One of the events was with my dad, and that was pretty cool. This was Shoot for the Moon. So that was full moon at sunrise on the Oregon coast. And I was able to catch that. I'm going to go and hopefully go to Ecola State Park. And here's the other time I caught that. Here's on Second Beach in Washington. That's the moon in the morning setting at sunrise and low tide. And so I camped out on the beach. That's me back then. That was like 5 years ago. And this morning had some incredible photos. It was just a beautiful, special morning. That was my tent at Second Beach where I camped. And you wake up in the morning and boom. So I'm going to get up at 3 in the morning and I'm going to drive to Cannon Beach. And I'm going to hopefully... It's funny because they open the beach at 6 and the event starts at about 5 in the morning, 5:30. And you can get a ticket if you're parked there before 6. So I might get a ticket. It's worth the risk. I don't mind. So I'm going to be trying to do that Saturday. So I'll be here Sunday. So it'll be a special day after that. And we'll play with Del Norte. It will be out. It comes out Friday. Yeah, I have to see things like that for inspiration. It feeds my inner being to see stuff like that. So happy 4th of July to everybody. If Portland can see the full lunar eclipse in July or August, yes, August. I'm going to be actually probably in Idaho at my mom's house because it goes right over my mom's house in Idaho in August on the 21st. That's when the full eclipse hits during the day. It's going to be incredible. So we'll be there. So any questions? Any questions before we go? I thank you in advance for all your support. I'm glad that these help you guys out. We made a really cool patch together. That's really cool what we did. Get up here. I want to play it one more time. BPM pad, Island Pulse family. Now, I might go through this and make it so it plays. I have it set to song, and this is something to be aware of. When you're doing a sequencing and you're song is great because it keeps going no matter what chords. It doesn't reset. If I set this to legato, each time I play a new set of notes without hanging notes. See how I'm resetting it by playing new notes? If I set it to song, it just ignores my note. It doesn't care what I play. So, but the big issue is when you call it up for the first time and play it, it might be somewhere else in the cycle for the song clock. So I think I'm going to save it with legato. But if you want to use it the way that we used it in the song, depending on what you're going to play, you might want to set it to song. But I'm going to save it to legato because the last thing I want, I have some really strict rules with patches. And one of them is when you call it up, it has to sound good. So if it doesn't sound good, when you call it up and you go, if it doesn't work right, then we fix it. Okay. You mentioned something about the attack not being in sync with the rhythm. Attack not being in sync with rhythm. It's more about the attack being how you play. Whether you want the attack to be slower. If you wanted another type of pad that people love and that we should do real quickly is really fun, and that's the slow pads. These are like slow evolving. You're not going to be playing a lot of notes, and there it's a different thing. Let me see. But Bill, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Was back at the beginning of building the pad. I think that the velocity to the attack time fixed that. I was trying to get it so that if I played soft, it would be slower. If I play harder, more velocity intense, it would speed up the pad attack to play more matching. Again, you match the attack shape to what you're going to play. Like this pad, when I get done making this one, this won't work with the song that I've got. Like I was able to play chords and do all that stuff for the last one. If I go to, let's do something. We've got these really cool sounds in here that have really cool motion. So, yes, you can. It's in the video when it comes live. Watch that part because you can go in. It's not a right click. You can't right click on envelopes. But if you have a really slow envelope, you can say new modulation routing, say velocity, and then go down here to the envelope attack trim. And by setting this to be more in the middle and like a strong strength, now I can be slow or right away. Another trick to be aware of with pads, let's see, let's remove this routing, is sample start. Here's a sound. When I designed these, I kind of wanted it to work right, so I don't have to do much of this. But if I didn't want that slowly of brightness, I could go to the sample start and get past it. Right? And once again, our big rule, at least 36 notes. This is going to be super slow. I'm going to have it do some evolving and stuff, right? Yes, I will post pics of what I take next week for sure. On Sunday, we will have a photo show. The other thing that's important is the curvature shape. And this is where it's really nice. On most synthesizers that you buy, you don't have access to this. Omnisphere, it's unique in that the envelopes have two ways of seeing these values. And in the second way, you can control them. So if I wanted this to be even slower, I could make it a negative exponential, which means it's going to creep along at almost like no volume. And then it's going to start to speed up, and then it does most of its growth right here in like the last part of it. And you could make it so it's even more growth at the end. So now when I play it, you don't hear it at all. So we don't want that. Now linear, meaning it's going to start, you hear it a little bit at the beginning and just keeps growing. Now if I was to play my song, this sound is unusable for that application. So in this case, you want to speed it up. And I take it up an octave. Right? So that's where the envelope shape and the overall length of it is really important. For this sound, I want this to be slow and evolving. I typically like sounds that start and get a little bit louder at the beginning and then slowly get to max over time. Okay, so, and a lot of people, I mean, my goodness, Tangerine Dream, bands like that, this would be like super long. Then let's look for stuff that we could play with. FM is a great source for slow evolving. Hear how it gets so fast? So we could slowly go modulate this with, let's say, envelope 4, because I need it to be polyphonic. So let's go to envelope 4, which is right now rhythmic, so you get all sorts of... You could go there, but no, that's not what we're gonna do. Default the ADSR, but reverse it. So we want to hit lock, have it start down, and it's gonna slowly grow over time. Long release. Now there's a certain point in the FM where it changes pitch. You hear that, right? So let's modulate this with an LFO. Very small range. Oh, is there something happening with envelopes? Yeah, it's looping. Don't loop. So I want to show this modulation source. I want it to be even less. So as it grows, there's stuff that slowly changes to it. Now let's do this. Do a high pass filter. Have this be kind of a falling down thing instead of going up. It's kind of coming up right now, but we're going to reverse it. So go to the filter, it's going to start and have a long decay. Kind of like that kind of thing, right? And then you can fine tune the shape. If I wanted. Super slow. Okay, because the idea is this is layer 1. Layer 2 is going to be my foundation. Something that's going to be nice, it's going to be there. Maybe play a little faster.
fall that kind of, I've done these sounds with Korg for a long time, where you have, let's go to layer B, Del Norte. We have all sorts of different stability. Even do fifths if we wanted. And because this is a C7 sample, that means it's way up high on the keyboard. So like, that's even slow. So down here, it's totally falling apart, which is actually cool. I like that. So, because I don't have to do anything to it, and it has this falling apart quality to it that's hard to describe. But it's there. Let's do this. Let's take down the envelope. Let's go to the effects. I'm gonna add maybe an ultra chorus, lush it out. Slow down the speed. Now let's layer. So this is my foundation. That's pretty solid. I might actually move the sample start a little later. So when I play notes, it's there. So I like that. Now, let's layer layer A with this and see what we get. So I want this new foundation to grow a little bit more. Kind of match that. Cool. And then let's go to here to the effect racks. Synth delay verb. This is a cool one. So I'm just gonna let this be a really big, long. There's this type of pad is for the slow evolving. And I could do something like I could take this envelope, right? This super slow envelope that we have. Let's copy this and let's paste this into mod 1, which isn't being used anywhere yet. Turn off loop, turn off all that stuff, and let's have this being used for the wave shaper, because the wave shaper got this cool noise. So if you right click, modulate this with mod envelope 1, just a little bit. So as things are growing pad-wise, because of the filter envelope, it's bringing up noise in the foundation. Now I want more motion in my foundation. So I'm gonna add an analog chorus. So now it's got more of a rolling motion instead of just sitting there flat. Okay. So there's your nice, slow, growing kind of a pad. And let's assign the mod wheel
I can do this if I want. Anyway. All right, we are done. 2 hours. My God, you guys. And then have, yeah, female vocals over the top. All right. Slow pad. There's your slow pad. We did a rhythmic pad. Cool. Thank you for watching. We will see you next Sunday. I'll send you out a note when Del Norte is released. Sorry, John, to digress, but are there plans for Mega Macho Drums for Omnisphere? Mega Macho Drums is now Super Macho Drums, and there's no way to do that in Omnisphere. Because each one of the drum maps in Super Macho Drums is 61 samples. There's kind of a version of this kind of stuff for Stylus RMX that we've done. The Beat Breakers / OMG drums are using a weird trick thing to get drum kits into Stylus RMX of new drum samples. But there's no way to take a map that looks like this that has all of these samples, velocity switching. I can only do 8 samples. So that would only do that much of the drum kit. So it defeats the purpose. Super Macho Drums also gives you all of these cool tools. I'm gonna put reverb on this. I want to take it down in pitch. This kick, I want to add the punch to it. These things you are just kind of exclusive to the Kontatk 5 interface and its abilities. And then you take and you multiply that by all the kits that come with these libraries. I mean, there's over 60 drum kits inside of Super Macho Drums. I mean, I'm hearing all these people using these sounds all over the place in cool ways. So it's really cool. People are getting it and love the power and the speed of doing all this stuff. But yeah, it can't work in Omnisphere. Sorry. It would be nice, but that is not something that we are able to. There's certain limitations with Omnisphere that make that impossible. Great. Yeah, hopefully no fog. We'll see, you know. Thank you again for joining. Peace, prosperity, happy 4th of July. Kontatk, I will get them. It is worth it. Kontatk is a really necessary, when you start getting onto all the different sample libraries that you can get. I think there's still it's totally worth getting. Thank you all for your time, for watching and hanging. It's great to have a little family to hang out with once a week. All right, peace to you all. Hands together, head bowed. I had one request. A lot of eBay sites I'm being told about in other countries are selling my libraries for really cheap. And if you're in Germany or if you're in France or in the Netherlands, if you could check eBay, and if my libraries are being sold by someone, can you report that user? I can't report them, or else I would, because I'm not a member of eBay. It's bad enough there's torrent sites, but it's people trying to sell and make money from selling my libraries. It's not fair. So if you can report them, that would, thank you, because I can't. Just at the end, a little, there's so many places where you can get these libraries for free if you really want to. Hopefully you guys don't do that. I appreciate your support because it keeps me paying my bills so I can keep doing this. So it's a good thing. Thank you all. Blessings. We'll see you later. Bye.